Alright, welcome to the Malliard Report. I think, I hope I'm gonna go. Just gonna go with it. Let's see what's going on, make sure I got everything. Yeah, I think I'm good. If I'm not, let me know, guys. Let me know. Hello everybody. Welcome to the Malliard Report. Normally I play a song to start the show, and not doing it tonight. I'm just not, you know, I'm still running. It's already now 9 a.m. So what we're going to do, we're going to talk about my event. Oh, for those of you who are watching the Ustream recording, forget it. I'm not doing a video show. Actually, no, I'll do this. I need a song. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. I'm just gonna play.
He gets up after lunch and a thermos full of beer. It's another day and the dusty haze, those burning rays are wearing down his body. And diesel's worth the price of gold, it's the cheapest grain he's ever sold. But he's still holding on. He just takes the tractor another round and pulls the plow across the ground. Sends up another prayer. He says, Lord, I never complain, I never ask why. Please don't let my dreams run dry. Underneath this Amarillo sky. That hailstorm back in '83 sure did take a toll on his family. He stayed strong and carried on, just like his dad and granddad did before him. On his knees every night he prays, please let my crops and children grow, 'cause that's all he's ever known. He just takes the tractor another round and pulls the plow across the ground and sends up another prayer. He says, Lord, I never complain, I never ask why. Please don't let my dreams run dry.
I had my mic muted. Let's start all over for the third time. Strike free and you're out. Yeah. Mic muted. Let's start this all over. That's okay. Welcome to the Malliard Report for the third time. I'm almost settled down now, I guess. I have Russ over on tonight from the Collective Paranormal Research Society out of Ohio. And welcome to the Fate.com chat room, Ken, and I hope you come back for more and more shows. I hope you stay tuned for the next show, which is Paranormal. They've always got a good, fun show. We'll just throw that promo right now. I can cross that off my list. For anybody who may or may not be watching the Ustream, if it's working, I don't know, I keep saying reconnecting the server. Whatever that means. Remember, I'm doing a radio show, and the camera just happens to be there and in my way. So, deal with it. But back to my event for just a sneaking second here before I get Russ on the phone again. My event. It is coming together, folks, and I am excited, finally. I see my tentative list of people that are about to confirm is at 15. I've got 20 tables, so guess what? It's going to happen. Oh, excuse me. So it was going to happen anyways, but it's going to sell out here in the next week or two. So if you haven't got your table for the Spark, oh, look at this. I figured this out this week. This is really sweet. You don't have to look at me. You can look at the Spark logo. And I want to thank Joel Samuelson. He was a guest on the old show that I had, and he put this together for me. He's out of Atlanta. You can find him on my Facebook page, and I recommend you do, and tell him what a great job he did. So, and remember, all the proceeds, well, all the admission proceeds at this point are going to Project Support Your Troops, and I'm getting a feeling that I'm about ready to shoot my mouth off here at some point and put some cold hard cash on the line. I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet, but we're going to get there. I'm going to donate money, but I want some people to help me do it. So, we'll see. With that being said, let's get Russ here. Let's see what Russ is doing. So, Russ, turn that player down while I get ready to give you a call here. And see what he's up to. Already 10 minutes into my show, time's flying by. That's what happens when you mute your mic. Look at this, Russ isn't going to answer his phone now. He knows what's happening. That's okay. He doesn't have to. I wouldn't blame him. I've heard what I've said in the last 10 minutes. Russ, you there?
What's up, buddy?
Not much. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. How about yourself?
Oh, pretty good. A lot better than it was 10 minutes ago. Oh. Or 5 minutes ago when I had the mic muted. I have my mic turned a funny direction tonight, and that's why I didn't see the mute light. So apparently that didn't work. So we're going to turn that right now. So any weird noises, there we go. Back to the way it normally is. So you're a member, or what is you? Are you a member or a co-founder of Collective Paranormal Research Society there?
Well, in our group, all of us are members. Pretty much, I am a co-founder of it. There were actually 5 co-founders of our group to start with. We all came from a previous group and started this group. We've all been together for about 2 years now. So, I mean, I do consider myself one of the co-founders. Eric, the other co-founder in the group, everyone in the group's kind of let Eric and I handle all the networking, the website design, everything like that. So, co-founder is just a name to put at the end of the title. So,
yeah. It doesn't mean anything except that you take all the work. That's all that title means.
Well, everyone pulls their own weight in the group as well, but push comes to shove, decisions come down to Eric and I. So
that's good to have somebody that makes. I mean, some people that make decisions, because if you're not making decisions, yeah. Anyways.
Well, it's better having a lot of people making decisions and no one listening. So.
There you go. I just flipped up the Collective Paranormal Research Society logo, so you don't have to look at my face for a little while.
Oh, that's not a problem.
For those people watching on the Ustream.
Awesome. Appreciate that.
The people in the chat room are mentioning my new backdrop. They missed the camo that I had up for 1 week there. It's hanging in the corner, but I went to the modern art. I love it.
Oh, nice. So, yeah, the paint splatters really show really well.
Yeah, it makes me pop. It makes me look good, if that's at all possible.
You just need to get a T-shirt that blends right into the background, and then you'll just be a floating head.
Or just cut a hole in it, and then.
There you go.
But well, you know a little bit. Well, you're interested in photography. What do you like? Let's ask this loaded question. Do you like black and white pictures, or is that just me?
I love black and white. I mean, especially in the older historical buildings, you know, your Trans-Alleghenies, Rolling Hills, any place that has a lot of significance and historical value to it. I think black and white just makes it pop. It makes it real greeny. It just makes it, you know, it gives it that kind of subtle nuance to it. And it kind of takes you back to the day of when all there was black and white.
Do you think that maybe I'm stepping out on a limb here, so follow me for a second. Do you think maybe we could catch more spirits if we photographed in black and white?
People have tried. I mean, there have been experiments out there with black and white. I mean, you have your black and white, you have your full spectrum, you know, everything like that. When I go on an investigation, I never shoot in black and white. Anytime I ever shoot in black and white is just for
the sake of doing
purposes. Exactly. It's just to do it.
That's pretty cool. I just random question time.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine.
And there's sepia too. Sometimes sepia comes in handy. I just love the look of it sometimes.
I actually just did an investigation down in Kentucky with Chris Dedman, and it's a undisclosed location because he's playing things pretty close to the chest on this. But my co-founder Eric and myself were hand-selected at a group of 7 investigators to go down and validate claims inside this location. And the one part of the building actually had stained glass windows. So I was messing around a little bit, and I flipped my camera over to the negative setting, and the stained glass windows on that just pop out of it like crazy, and they look really cool.
I bet. It's interesting. You know, we're always focused on the investigate. Well, most shows. I'm not saying that. My show. I focus on the extremes of, you know, stuff that we do before and after the investigation.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's amazing. Some of these places are really beautiful and historical and need photographed because without preservation and awareness, they're not going to be there in much longer.
Exactly. I mean, a place we work with a lot, Madison Seminary, or there's 2 different names to the building. It's actually 2 separate buildings, but they're connected. Madison Seminary and the Ohio Cottage up in Madison, Ohio. We've investigated up there probably close to a dozen times, and we work pretty closely with the owners, going up and cleaning up the location and hosting events for them and helping them out a little bit. And the building itself is just phenomenal. I've gone up there a couple times and has shot the outside of the building in black and white, and some of the hallways as well, kind of towards sunset when the sun's coming in the windows and everything, shot down the hallways a little bit in black and white, and some of the pictures that came out were really cool. And it's that artistic side of me that kind of, you know, points that out, like, hey, you know, that'd be really cool in black and white, because like you said, no one ever thinks of it. You know, they just go in, snap off a couple hundred pictures, and, you know, go about their business. Yeah,
it's an interesting, I mean, you've got to take time to remember where you're at and enjoy the moment still, even though you're trying, I hate the word professional, and I'm not going to use it, because professional means you want paid, and professional, I twittered this to somebody the other day, professional, have you ever called tech support? Those are professionals. Let's not be that. let's not be that in the paranormal field.
Well, see, you have people in the field that call themselves professionals or experts or things like that, and I don't mean to go off on a tangent here or anything. This is kind of a touchy subject for me, because in the paranormal field there are really no experts or professionals or anything like that, because you can be an expert in a certain field, whether it be photography, tech, anything like that, but there is no proven expert, because you're in a field of unknown and no one knows everything, so you can't be considered an expert.
Yeah, even like sound. Okay, so you know a lot about sound, but it still must be undetermined because we haven't figured it out and haven't figured out how to capture it all the time, so it's still
Exactly. I mean, you really can't call yourself an expert. You know, there are certain levels of professionalism that you use when you're on an investigation. You're not going to go and, you know, kick down a door or, you know, break things off of a site or something like that.
Are you sure?
I've
seen that one commercial for the Paranormal Challenge, and that guy's kicking a wall pretty good.
And I'm sad to say that, you know, you just being half an hour from me, and those guys are over in your neck of the woods as well. And
I know I can't rip on them too bad, but
I mean, I love what they do. I mean, they're a great team. I've met them before. They're, you know, the guys over at Resident Undead are, you know, they're trendsetters in the paranormal field. You know, you had Zach from Ghost Adventures come out and be really kind of the first person to put it public about provoking that big. And then you have these guys come out and the entire team does it. And, you know, they're kind of setting that new wave in the paranormal field. I don't agree with it. I never provoke on...
I was just going to ask you that. Where do you stand on that? Provoking?
I don't provoke, especially in private homes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I won't do it in the private home, but if we're out in the public place, or like a private business or somewhere, yeah, see, every once in a while I'll throw something out there, because, you know...
Excuse me. See, I don't really provoke. I guess one of my members has actually said I antagonize a little bit. Thing about it is, if I'm not getting a lot of results, I'm not really hearing anything, nothing's really happening, you know, things like that, I'll start to speak a little more sternly to things, you know, kind of be a little more authoritative.
My team members call it my snake oil salesman bit. where I start, like, you know, the old carnival act, you know, that whole, come here, look at me, you know.
Yeah. We'll see.
In a busy place, back, you know, like a train station per se, for the sake of this conversation, you've got to draw their attention.
Mm-hmm.
Because they were there to get to catch their train, do whatever, so you've got to...
Definitely. I mean, a personal experience of mine where I've kind of antagonized a little bit more than I probably should have was our investigation back on May 13th, actually Friday the 13th, at Hillview Manor in Newcastle. And
you'll never believe this. Hold on, I'm gonna interrupt your story. I actually drove by there today.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you ever been inside there?
No, I haven't.
Fantastic place. Fantastic place. I mean, we have pages upon pages of evidence that we had. Especially the personal experience that happened to me was down in the boiler room itself. We were sitting down there. We were doing a flashlight session. And there was 5 of us down there, and we were all just sitting there, and, you know, I got a really bad pain in my stomach. Like, it almost felt like somebody was twisting a knife into my stomach, and it doubled me over. I was down on my knees, and I had to leave the room. I come back down, and, you know, we were still doing a flashlight session. We were getting responses here and there. It could have been sporadic. When we timed it out, it really didn't have any sort of timing to it, so that kind of, you know, played in the whole aspect of it. But at one point, I was kneeled down, and my knee was actually sitting on the ground, and I was right in front of the flashlight, and I was talking and telling it, you know, hey, we're hearing, you know, knocks and pops and, you know, footsteps all around us, and, you know, we're getting hits on the flashlight. And I'm like, you know what, I need something more than just a hit on a flashlight or, you know, some stones moving around behind us to let me know you're here. And probably about 5-10 seconds after I said that, I was laying on my back. And my co-founder was sitting down there with me and panned the camera over just in time to see me go. If somebody loses their balance, they have a tendency to fall to a certain side of which way they had their weight shifted. It felt like somebody grabbed my shoulders and pushed me back. So I was laying on my back, and at that point I was kind of like, okay, fine, I'm going to take a break, I'm going to leave for a couple minutes, went outside, got some fresh air, came back down, and when I came back down I started getting really, I wouldn't say irritated, but I kind of wanted to know more as to why it did that to me. I mean, in the back of my mind, I knew why it did it to me, because I said I wanted more and a bigger result, but, you know, in the back of my mind, I wanted something to happen then. Like, you know, tell me why you did that.
Right. Now you want the next piece to the puzzle.
Exactly. Okay, you pushed me on the ground now, so tell me now why you did that. You know, it was one of those kind of things.
Oh, that's interesting. So how did that investigation change your outlook on investigating?
It really didn't, honestly. Personally, myself, I've been investigating for about 13 years. I mean, I'm 27 years old. My dad got me into investigating to begin with. He's actually in the chat room right now, Ken. And
well, hello. Welcome to fate.
Yeah, my first ever investigation, thanks to him, was actually at Mansfield Reformatory. And, I mean, I was 15 years old and going into this mammoth building, and we actually got back in there when it was actually free to go in. So Mansfield really hasn't picked up on the whole, hey, come investigate us, you know, kind of thing yet. So we were actually able to go in there with a small group of people. I think there was only maybe 7 or 10 people in the entire building when we were in there. And that was my first investigation ever, and I was hooked ever since then. And I've been places, our most recent investigation was at, at Hillview Manor, but before that we were at Waverly Hills, Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, Rolling Hills Asylum. I've been the Bobby Mackey's Music World, pretty much as they consider the gateway of hell. So, I mean, nothing's really changed my perspective on investigating itself. I have yet to have that one experience to where it either runs me away from it or it draws me in more. I still approach every investigation as a skeptic. I want to be proven wrong every investigation I go on, and that's a good attitude to have when you go into an investigation. Because, if you go into an investigation thinking, hey, something's going to happen, these are the reports of this building, this is going to happen, you get that worked into your mind, and your mind starts playing tricks on you, and you start, picking up on it. You hear a noise that could be a water drop or something like that, and you think it's a footstep.
Well, my thing is, I tell people all the time, you start telling yourself something over and over again, I mean, it doesn't even have to be about the paranormal. It can be about anything. If you start telling yourself every day the sky is red, after a while, you're going to start believing the sky is red no matter what.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You hear it so much, it has to be true. I mean, and I approach every investigation as a skeptic. Our past investigation, we actually did a private home where kids were involved. I hate dealing with investigations where kids are involved because I have a daughter myself, and I know,
yes, I know where you're at.
The boogeyman and things like that, and but I hate seeing the look on these kids' faces of just sheer terror. They don't know what it is or anything like that, and it felt really good because when we went for the initial interview, the kids were actually there. We talked to them a little bit and see what they were kind of experiencing and kind of getting it firsthand. And it felt really good because the kids at the end of the interview, wanted to get pictures with us and everything, and were telling us, that they hope we can help them and everything. So it felt really good to know that these people invited us into their home to get help, and are willing to say they need help.
That's a good thing. I've made it a habit of, especially when I'm dealing with a kid on an investigation, of giving them my flashlight when we leave.
There you go. There you go.
I mean, I've spent, what is it, it's a cheap LED flashlight. It's, whatever. But that kid knows that, there's no darkness now until the batteries die or whatever. It's just simple things like that makes the client, the parent, much, more settled.
They
makes
the
kid
comfortable.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, it's great. It's great to be able to see that. That's one of the reasons I still continue to investigate is, after an investigation, just seeing the look on people's faces, knowing that we've helped them, and that they don't think they're crazy, and they can actually talk to someone about the things that are happening in their home, that there's someone out there that understands what's going on. And just seeing that look on their faces afterwards, or even during the initial interview, is just probably one of the greatest things, you could ever have.
Yeah, it's amazing. People's reactions. Of course, these are the good people's reactions. I'm sure you've had those people that have called you demon worshippers and worse.
The greatest thing about it is I go out to Barnes & Noble and Borders and everything and all these bookstores all the time, and I'm always wearing my group t-shirt. It's like I have 6 or 7 different group t-shirts that I wear, and I'll certain days I'll wear them out or whatever, not on purpose, but it's whatever's clean that day.
Right.
And I'll wear them out there, and I've actually gotten into heated debates in the middle of Barnes & Noble with someone that has been, There's no such thing, it's heaven or hell and da-da-da-da, and that's it, and I've gotten into debates in the middle of bookstores with people because they've seen my t-shirt.
Well, that's interesting.
So, but it's gone the other way as well. I've had people come up to me and go, oh, are you like the TV shows that are out there?
Well,
and I hate to say, well, yeah, I am, and then I don't want to say, well, no, we're not, and then go into a 20-minute spiel about, oh, well, this is what we do, and da-da-da-da-da, and, so, I tell them, kind of we are, you know, we're the foot soldiers for the paranormal. These small groups that are out there, we're the foot soldiers. We're the ones that actually sit down and do our evidence review. We are the ones that are meeting with clients on a daily basis. You know, we're the ones that have the long hours and the loss of sleep. You know, that's plain and simple.
Yeah, it doesn't fit into an hour program what we do.
Exactly. We can't edit down our investigations. I mean, we can.
We could.
We could, but you know what? It's not showing what this field is actually all about.
You know, if we could, okay, let me ask you this. If you could, I would say, I cut all your investigations down, how many would be good TV shows?
How many would be good TV shows?
Yeah, actually, you got, like, good evidence and, you know, all the good drama and, you know. You know what I'm saying? How many would be a good TV show?
Well, honestly, I'm not all about the spotlight. I'd say 0. Because, you know what, when we go into an investigation, when we go into a location, we do us. We do our thing. We're not going to bend to a producer's will.
Right.
You know, I'm not going to, you know, I discussed this with someone the other day about the Paranormal Challenge. You know, I love the paranormal field. Hands down, it is such a passion for me. I do not agree with the show. And I actually emailed Sharon Coyle, actually, from Rolling Hills Asylum, because my father and I actually went up there last year and investigated up there, and we had fantastic experiences there. Sharon was great. She's such a great host. She has a fantastic location, and she was posting after the air of Paranormal Challenge at Rolling Hills. She was posting all over her Facebook about, you know, hey, you know, come support this and da-da-da-da. So I actually sent her a private email and was like, hey, Sharon, look, you know, I love your location. I love you to death. You know, I'll support your location 110%, but I cannot support the show. I cannot support a show that makes a mockery of our field. Yeah, you cannot force evidence. You cannot force evidence in an hour. You cannot do it.
It's not a competition either. And
it's not.
Everybody claims they want paranormal unity, but putting two teams against each other is not going to build unity.
Exactly. I mean, I have not watched the show. I mean, it could be the greatest thing out there since sliced bread, but I refuse to watch the show because I think it takes everything out of what the paranormal community should be about. There should be no pitting two teams up against each other for the best evidence. You know, you can't do that. You cannot do that. Plain and simple. It is against the rules of the paranormal. I mean, you can't command a spirit to talk to you. I mean, you can will it to, but you can't command it to.
And even then, even if you brought in a medium or whatever you wanted to do, it's still a crapshoot of getting it recorded and produced and all that fun stuff. Exactly.
I mean, it's one of those things where, you know, like Eric CPRS, he's actually the other co-founder, is in the chat room now. He just said you can't make a game show out of the paranormal, and I agree 110% with that. You really can't.
That's my thought. It's a matter of spirit, and if it's like going back to provoking, to bring it back the full circle. If you upset the spirit, you upset the spirit, and I don't know one TV show, one night of ratings is worth my future investigations.
Exactly. And the thing about it is, you're going to have these people out there that watch this TV show, and they're going to see how these teams act. And, you know, granted, each team is different. Everyone brings something else to the field. I mean, they bring their own style to the field. But you're going to have people watching these shows and laughing at it, pretty much.
Yeah. They thought it was a joke before, when they, like Jason and Grant had the desperate, whatever housewives they had on their show.
Yeah. The Desperate Housewives of D.C. or whatever it was. Okay. That's when you're starting to reach for rating is when you're bringing in guest investigators. Yeah. I mean, that's really when you're reaching for ratings. So, I mean, I don't agree with it. I've had this discussion with several people, and you know, it's just it's one of those things where, you know, I'm not ragging on the show, you know, because it wouldn't have been picked up if it wasn't. The producers didn't think it was going to get ratings. You know, I'm not ragging on the show. I'll never speak ill.
Yes, I hope everybody. Oh, she's going to be on tonight, actually, Beth Brown. And
okay.
On our what's the name of that show? Somebody popped it up there. It's a blues review. I can't remember the whole full name, but I mean, we've got great people that do this stuff. I mean, but again, I guess, hey, if somebody offered to put me on, you know, as a judge of that show, I guess I'd have to think about it. I wouldn't put my team on it to investigate.
Well,
but if they offered me a judge spot, I guess I'd have to think about that.
The thing about it is, you know, even with the judge spot of it is, you know, who are you to determine, you know, what would be the best evidence captured. And you know, like Sweet Troy just said in the chat room, it's entertainment. That's what it is.
Anything.
Yeah.
There's a little personal vendetta there. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, Robin, I got the message you sent me too, by the way. We're going to have to talk. Oh, anyways, sorry. We'll back that down for a minute. The personal animosity. Hey, we're halfway through the show, so let's do my bit and song here. You're listening to the Malliard Report on Fate Radio, fateradio.com. Please come join us in the chat room, because pretty soon there'll be a bunch of quacking and all kinds of insane stunts, because I'm sure somebody will try to distract me so I can't talk while I'm trying to do this interview. So, and I have Russ Stiver on from the Collective Paranormal Research Society. There, I got it right that time, I think. I hope. If not,
woohoo!
I know your website's going under a redesign, but you still have a Facebook page here. I'm going to post that in the chat. Well, maybe I'm not. Well, anyways, just type it in the the search box there, Collective Paranormal Research Society, and you'll find it. And actually, it's probably linked off the Malliard Report Facebook page if you need to find that. And actually, if you need to find anything about the show, or hopefully an archive from tonight's show, it's Malliard.com. Malliard. I can't even spell my own last name. Good show tonight. So let's go back here. I got in my notes, and you mentioned this earlier, helping children with investigations. So let's tie this to a point in my notes. Me and my wife and my 6-month-old, 7-month-old son went to Gettysburg.
Okay.
And we were sitting in a haunted cellar, and the storyteller's telling his great story about this kid that got ran. A great story. Well, the story about a kid that got ran over by a carriage, and he's known to frequent what is it, the farm source house, I think it is. And my son just started looking over where no one was at and waving and carrying on. So the guy's like, "Oh, look, getting all excited. The kid must be here." So he gets the dowsing rods out and they cross. And I'm sitting there watching. I'm thinking, is this, this is before I started. This is what the event that kind of triggered the start of our team. I'm looking at this guy and the dowsing rods are crossing, but the more important thing is my son interacting with something I can't see.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. That's how, kids are. And so I guess my question out of all that is, you're interested in the Civil War, so have you been to Gettysburg?
I have not. That is one place I have not made it to. I want to go next year. That's my goal, is to make it to Gettysburg next year. I mean, it's not that far of a drive located, so I mean, it made a weekend thing of it. I know they had Numenology 103 or 101, I think, this year over there.
I think it was 103, but don't quote me.
Yeah, I had a couple people, a group we network with a lot out of California, CPPI, California Private Paranormal Investigators, Peaches, VTAC, and Katie Foreman and everything. I talk with them a lot. We were actually supposed to go out in April, out to do Preston Castle with them. Eric and I were, and things fell through with that, and I didn't make it out there. But they were actually up at Gettysburg, in Big Gettysburg, the entire weekend that the Numenology was going on. So hopefully maybe next year when Numenology rolls around, CPRS will make it up there and represent up there.
That's it. Our team went there last summer as a team, and we didn't really investigate, but we did the ghost walk at the Jenny Wade house, and really entertaining.
Good.
I mean, I didn't say really paranormal. I said really entertaining because
yeah.
I don't want to bash those people. I mean, they do a good job of what they do. It was entertaining. It was more entertaining than those TV shows. So.
Well, see, in the fact of these ghost walks and things like that, it's the historical value of it. It's getting the information that makes the places have activity. I mean, because if you go into a location and you know nothing about the location, you're not going to know any names to use as trigger objects. You're not going to know any of the history behind anything like that. For myself, Gettysburg would be not only a paranormal field trip, I guess you could say, but also a personal historical field trip for myself. I'd love to go there.
It's the perfect, like I told our team, it's the perfect family vacation.
Exactly.
Because mom and dad get to play doing the paranormal, and the kids get to learn something. So.
It's really interesting that you bring up how your your kid was looking, kind of interacting with something that wasn't down in the basement there that you couldn't see. Eric has a interesting story. He has a son as well, and he took him up to Altoona, PA, to the train museum up there.
Right.
And Eric has this picture of his son. They're sitting at, they have a remake of the bar area, of where all the railroad workers and everything would get off and go have a drink after work and everything like that. And it has a picture of Eric and his son sitting on the bar stools. And his son's looking off into the, off picture, I guess you could say. And Eric's wife is sitting there just clicking pictures, and she kind of brought the camera down and looked real quick, and in one of the bar stools there is I guess you would say a figure. You can see kind of head and shoulders and everything, but the thing about it was blurred. You could see that there's something there, but everything behind it's kind of blurred out, and his son's actually staring straight at this thing. So, I mean, it's interesting to see how perceptive children are to this kind of thing.
It is, and actually my son brought somebody home from Gettysburg. Jesus.
Oh, awesome.
Almost.
My wife yells at me about bringing something home, and you find out a kid brings something. That's great.
Yeah, trust me, it's not the investigators. It's the kid. Anyways, long story short, it turned out well for the spirit. So
good.
Brought him home.
Hey, he finally had a home to come to.
Well, actually, he went home, like where he was.
Oh,
okay. So he just needed to get. He did a ride.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Need to get point A to point B.
Yep. Kind of weird to think about because you're always thinking, they can run from one place to another, but anyways,
yeah.
I can't. I don't want to say creeps me out, but it's kind of weird how you think of, sometimes you think they can just go anywhere they want, and then you have one in your life that that came with you and then left when it was time to go.
Exactly. They know in their own, I don't want to say their own mind, but they know when it's time to pass on to leave.
Yeah, well, actually, he was near his family farm from what the research I figured out.
Okay.
So he actually went home. So I'm assuming he died in the Battle of Gettysburg there, and his body made it home, but his spirit hadn't. So. Yep.
So, well, at least you can rest at ease knowing that you're able to finally put a spirit to rest, I guess you could say, help them cross over by bringing it home.
I don't know if he crossed over or just went home. Either way, it's simple.
Getting him to the place he needs to be.
Yeah. So, Okay, so those people who are watching the video broadcast are wondering why I switched back to the Spark logo. Do you have any idea why I would have done that?
Do I?
Yeah.
Maybe because Eric and I are on the round table of the investigators for the event itself.
Maybe that could be good reason.
Hey, that could be.
No, it's more just shameless plugging of the event. I'm just gonna no.
Hey, you know what? Do what you need to do.
Well, you know what? If I had a couple $1,000, I wouldn't have to do it this way.
Well, you know what?
And to anyone out there maybe listening.
Like I told you, one of our members, Patrick Lane, he actually owns Lane Promotional, and I think I contacted you a couple weeks ago about seeing if you wanted to do T-shirts for the show or for the event, and he asked me again the other day if I had heard anything back from you, because he said he'd be really excited to do something for you for it. So seeing what just I guess talking with you and seeing what you would want done.
Well, like I said, I don't want to. This should be probably an off-air conversation, but we're gonna have it anyways. I don't want to be in too deep money anyways.
Oh, of course.
Because if 5 people show up and I order 500 T-shirts,
yeah, you'd be upside down a little bit.
Yeah. I love my event and I love my team, but if 5 people show up, I probably won't love it so much anymore.
You know what? At least you wouldn't have to do laundry for almost a year.
No, knowing my wife, I'd be eating them.
There you go. Yeah, probably.
Cook for a year.
Yeah, there you go.
Actually, I'll sit down here in the next couple of days and we'll settle this and figure something out. I'd like to do something.
Yeah. So, just send me a message. Let me know what you want to do with it.
I'm looking forward to it. Like I mentioned earlier,
yeah,
I'm getting close, and I see some good people in the chat room hanging out with us that are local. They should get here. They should tell everybody. They should That's it. They should just tell everybody. Tell those people that were yelling at Russ at Barnes & Noble there's a paranormal event going on. Let them show up.
You know what? I've been dropping it left and right to anybody I talk to. I mean, you know, because it's a big thing for us as well at CPRS because, you know, it's the first time that we've ever actually been invited to an event to, you know, be on a round table of speakers and things like that. So it's kind of a stepping stone for us as a group. I
think it is for a lot of people locally. We had you missed the meet and greet there in Erie on Sunday.
Yeah, I did.
Or Saturday, whatever day that was. Great event, by the way. I'm glad they put it together. But this is like the next step of that. And as we go through the years here, I hope that the teams in this region, Eastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania, can push it together and get it together a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
And get some. I'm talking to Brian Byers now. Get some big event, hint, where we can all come together at one time. Hint. Okay.
There you go.
Me and him have been talking. If you want this to get together, type it in the chat room there, guys. Let's put some pressure on this guy. He is gonna hate me. I'm waiting for the message right now. But
well, you know, I tell you what, it's great because I know we're going down to Scarefest in September down to Lexington, Kentucky. Wow, I can't even talk. Excuse me.
Where are you going?
Pennsyltucky. That's where I'm going. Pennsyltucky. No, I mean, we're going down to Lexington, Kentucky for the Scarefest, and you know, that's one of the biggest paranormal and horror conventions on the East Coast. And you know, I'd like to see, you know, in the next couple of years here, the Ohio, Indiana, you know, PA area have their own kind of Scarefest.
I'd like to keep it closer to home than that.
Yeah.
There isn't even a good event in Pittsburgh, or Cleveland, or Buffalo that I know of.
Well, they just did. I mean, this was normally it's a horror festival, but they just did the Pittsburgh Horror Festival, the film festival down in Pittsburgh last month. And one of my close friends, Anthony Colano, who I believe has confirmed for the Spark as well, is going to come.
He's close to confirming. He's waiting for one more filming schedule to come through, but he is close.
Awesome. Yeah, because I know he has a project out in California, and you know, it's one of those. It's one of those kind of crapshoot things of, you know, hey, can you make it or not? And I talk with him on a daily basis, and he has a big film he's working on right now with some pretty big name actors, and he's trying to get up and set up a table up here at the Spark, and see, I may even talk with him, see, hey, you know, maybe if he wants to just give me some of his merchandise or whatever, and I can set it up at our table that we have up there. But I know he's pushing the Spark as well with everybody in his circle that he knows, so the name's definitely spreading.
Yeah, so. And that was the point of the name. Originally, I've made this list of 5 names, and I presented them to the team, and I said, this is the one I want. And I explained it to him, because I want to spark the fire of genuine interest in the paranormal.
Exactly.
Not Jason and Grant showing up at an event.
Yeah.
The genuine, heartfelt interest from the local team giving it back to the community. Mm-hmm. So that was the original goal. So
I had went down, actually, I had won tickets to Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum for their celebrity weekend when they had, who was down there? Steve Gonzalez, Dave Tango, Cece the Huntress, Chris Fleming, and KJ McCormick were down there for an event. And I tell you what, it was absolute chaos down there. People were running every other different direction. I've already been down to Tala once myself. So I kind of knew where to go, you know, what locations to hit. So, you know, I kind of tried to stay away from all these starstruck in awe individuals. So, I mean, I went down there for an investigation, not the, you know, stardom factor of it. So,
how is that place? Let's talk about Tala for a minute.
Place was amazing. I mean, the architecture of the building itself, I believe, was Kirkbride Plan building. The activity in there is just absolutely amazing. We sat there, my investigator Justin Stevens and I, you know, when we got up onto a floor, you know, everyone went one way, so we're like, okay, let's go the opposite way, you know, and let's get away from everyone. And I tell you what, him and I were in the geriatric ward, and I tell you what, at night this place is just creepy because you look up and down the hallways, and all you see are white doors, and they're all open, and it's just looking down a hallway like that, it just has that ominous feeling to it, and you're just thinking in the back of your mind, you're like, okay, what door is going to shut? You know, because it'll stand out to you because all the doors are white. And when we were sitting down there, we were doing a EVP session, and we heard a door open at the one end of the hallway, and we start hearing footsteps. So I actually shined my flashlight down the end of the hallway, calling out, "Hey, is anyone down here? We're doing an EVP session, da-da-da, whatever." No one's down there, didn't hear anything. We hear footsteps walk right past us, and at the end of the hallway, we hear a door open again. And no one was there. No one was walking around on the floor we were on. And it was just one of those kind of things, like, you're expecting to see someone just appear out of nowhere, and there was nothing. I mean, you just hear footsteps. It got to the intensity where you could hear it going right past you. And, I mean, I've had great experiences down at that building itself. So, definitely a place to check out if anyone's ever down to the West Virginia area.
I've been told I should go a lot of places, but I avoid those more well-known places, basically because I don't have the money, truthfully.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they do, I mean, the private tour, or I don't want to say private, but the public investigations at Tala, it's $100 a person.
Yeah, and then plus you got to get there, and,
Exactly. You get there, and my buddy and I, when we went down for the Celebrity Weekend, we actually left here, drove down there, did the investigation, left at 4 o'clock in the morning, and drove back home. And I tell you what, I'll never do that again, because it's somehow, I don't know if it was being tired or, just our GPS was stupid, but
you drove by my house? What?
Well, we ended up coming into Ohio, then back into West Virginia, into PA, and then back in Ohio. I don't know how we did it, but it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I wasn't asking questions. As long as we got on an 11 or 76 or 71 and headed home, I was fine.
Well, I think that GPS is stupid. I'd shoot it.
Exactly. I think at one point we saw a sign for Columbus that said 63 miles away, so I think we went on a little more of a road trip than we wanted to do. So
the 3-hour tour at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Exactly. Try explaining that one to a cop if you get pulled over. It's one of those things.
I was looking for you. Where am I?
Exactly. Finally someone stopped me to help me. Well, since you were talking about events with the Spark as well, coming up in August, CPRS, actually, we have not released this yet to anyone. We are actually releasing to the people that are actually listening now. We're releasing our Halloween event that's going to be happening October 28th. We haven't gotten all the details ironed out yet. We've been working very closely with the owner of this location, but we are doing a Halloween event. We did one last year at Madison Seminary, and it turned out really good. Our event that we do is to pretty much get the public that has never been on an investigation or don't really know what to do, they are interested in the paranormal and things like that, get them to come out a little bit, spend it, out with an actual team that has done investigating before and kind of see where we come and get to know a little bit about us. We're actually, we haven't released this on our Facebook, we haven't really released it on, told anyone about it, but we have booked and confirmed Hillview Manor in Newcastle for our Halloween event.
Awesome. That is pretty cool. Breaking news here on the Malliard Report. That is what I like.
There you go. We're bringing it
exclusively. And keep me up to date, and we'll get you back on for a quick hit before that.
Oh, definitely. We definitely will. Actually, if anyone's in the Northeast Ohio area, Warren, Ohio is a very, very historical location. They have so much history just around this town, and I don't know for how many years. Ken may know in the chat room how many years they've been doing this, but the second and third weekends in October, they do what they call a ghost walk in downtown. It's pretty much the same thing they do up at Gettysburg. They take you around downtown, show you all the buildings, give you a little bit of the history behind it, and kind of tell you a little bit of the stories of what activity is supposed to be going on there. We actually just got confirmation from the Trumbull County Arts Council to give us permission to go down and set up a table for the event. So we'll be there 4 nights. All 4 nights that they're doing the event, we'll be down there at the First Presbyterian Church, and we'll have a table set up with some of our evidence, and getting the public a little more informed as well.
That's awesome, and I love hearing that somebody's because last year the local cemetery does ghost walks or history walks, or I forget what it is. They have this cool title that incorporates them both.
Oh yeah,
they got canceled because of weather, so it was kind of disappointing. So.
Well, see, they do the downtown Warren. They do their ghost walk, rain or shine. Granted, not a lot of people's going to want to go out and walk around downtown when it's pouring down rain. But from what I've been told and from what I've seen, total people that actually end up showing up to this ghost walk, they run it from 6 to 9:30 on, I believe, Saturday and Sundays. I'm not exactly. I haven't got the details back from Bill yet. Is the guy I'm talking with. But they either do it Friday or Saturday and Sunday. It's from 6 to 9:30, those 2 nights. And last year they had over 2,800 people come. So in the 4 days they did the event, they had over 2,800 people on all 4 days. So
that's an impressive number.
Yeah, I mean, for a small town kind of event, it's something that's annually they do. And
but still, I mean, if they do it annually, you'd think it draws.
Oh yeah,
so
you have the repeat people that come back and that are just dedicated to it. So giving them something new to put out is going to be awesome for us, and it's going to be awesome for them. So because they're out there telling stories of this is what happens, and these are what we've had reports of catching and things like that. And before the walk or after the walk, people can come to our table that we have set up and actually hear actual EVPs or spirit photography or things like that, and see some of the equipment that we use and things like that, and just give a little more knowledge to the public itself that generally wouldn't know more about this.
That's good. I like hearing that. And anything we can do to get the, I don't want to say right paranormal out there, but it is the right paranormal, the local paranormal back in front.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a lot of people watch these shows and think that's what it's all about. And think that, hey, they're in there, they're out in an hour. They catch all this great stuff in an hour. And, realistically, these people are filming at these locations for 4 or 5 days at a time just to get enough evidence for an hour. So, I mean, it's good to see. It's good for these, I don't want to say smaller groups, but the people that actually put in the footwork, the ones that are doing the video and the audio analysis and, meeting with the clients and everything, it's good that the public sees these groups and the hard work that they do. And I've told several people before, I was on a radio show a couple of weeks ago, and, like I told them when I was on that, it's not these shows that are the real heroes of, the paranormal. It's these people that are out there every day. It's the people that are losing sleep doing these investigations, that are out there helping families, that, sit down.
Or losing sleep because of an investigation, like they're trying to stay up and do the EVP so they can find something.
Exactly. It's one of those things that, we're the people that are out there, doing the footwork for these shows to even be possible. If it wasn't for small-time groups and the smaller people out there, these groups would be nothing. These TV shows wouldn't have the, I don't want to say really a cult following, but, the paranormal is still, it's still a taboo subject in some places. I know that, and it's very hard. I still even kind of, should I bring it up? Should I mention it? I always feel really weird walking into a place in public with one of my group T-shirts on or something like that, and I get these looks, and I've had several people ask me, what is that about? Anything like that, and I really don't want to go into this whole triad about what we do.
Well, let's see. We founded the team in April. For the first, till November, I wouldn't talk about it in public. And then I finally broke down and had my embroiderer make me this hat that I'm wearing tonight. And everybody says, well, you should get a new hat. It was a black hat. Now it's kind of brown. Now you can't get it off me. Now I won't stop talking about it. But it's a process that you have to get comfortable in your own skin talking about it. It's hard when you're not sure what you believe. You sure don't want to be going around telling people it. So.
Oh, I mean, definitely. I mean, you can ask Eric, you can ask Ken that are in the chat room. CPR is my life. I eat, sleep, breathe. I do all of this stuff for the group. We just had group pictures on Sunday. Look for those coming out here pretty soon. Eric's working on our website as we speak.
Oh, is that when he's got the rope out?
I think so. I think so. No, but he's working on our website. He's our graphic designer. I see you have our logo up on the Ustream again. He's actually the one to design that for us. So he designs all our T-shirts for us, all our everything like that. He just designed a banner for us for the Spark and other events that we do after that. I mean, he's a great guy. Great, knows what the design eye. He really has the eye for things.
I don't, so that's good. I'm glad we know somebody.
Patrick, Lane Promotional, they're our T-shirts. They do great things. He sits around, and him and I sit around and talk about, the newest design that we want to do or throw things together and things like that. Great guy out there for that one. So if you ever need anything done, T-shirt-wise, anything like that, definitely pop on over to Facebook and look up Lane Promotional, Lane. Great guy there. It's a great. I've met so many people in this field that has been just fantastic. So, and if you actually look up our Facebook page, I believe I posted the link in the chat a little while ago. We have done some videos for evidence we have caught. I've done those videos myself, and it's just a little highlight of.
Well, if memory serves me right, your website has the Facebook link on it, even though it's down, right?
I believe so. I'm not sure if Eric tossed that up there.
Let's see. Hold on. Let me do that.
I just tossed the link to the group up.
Because of the room setup, you need to send it to me here. And he'll know what I'm talking about. And then I copy and paste it and drop it in the chat room. So it'll, so people weren't spamming our chat room here at Fate. Which is probably a good thing.
Probably.
I know at times it frustrates people, but it is what it is. So, anyone else you want to give a shout out to before well, we're almost out of time. Whoa.
Yeah, we're almost. I mean, it's 3 minutes till 10. Wow, the hour's gone by quick. Off the top of my head, like I said, we have Lane Promotional and Patrick Lane. He's done all our T-shirt. Eric designs a lot of all of our logos and everything like that. So if anyone needs any design work done, I guess you can get a hold of Eric. He's linked through our website and has emails up there, and you can find him through our Facebook page as well. Ken, my dad, he's the one that got me into this, so I mean I wouldn't be doing any of this today if he hadn't, kind of dragged me into Mansfield, I guess you could say. And just the entire CPRS team. I mean, we started from nothing, and we had a lot against us when we started. Like I said, we left from another group, and that's here nor there because of certain circumstances and things like that. And there was 5 of us that left the group, and I tell you what, all 5 of us that left that group and started CPRS, we're still going strong and active members. And I tell you what, we do everything because of people telling us we couldn't do it. And it just gives us more fuel and pushes us more. So you guys will be hearing a lot more of Collective Paranormal in the next year. We have some big things coming up, and we'll be doing some pretty big things as well.
All right, Russ, I'm going to take 1 minute here and thank you for coming on. And I personally want to thank Brian Byers in the chat room again for everything that he's done in my life and giving me a show and all that fun stuff. So I look forward to talking to you at the Spark, but I'll probably talk to you between now and then.
Of course you will.
And I can't wait to get those details to me about your event there on October 28th, and I'll get them on the show and get them all over the place for you as well.
Awesome.
So, like I said, I'm glad that you came on tonight, and I probably should know who's coming on my show next week, but I don't have that right in front of me. Tom Abineau. I don't know any more than that because I don't look that far ahead. I just book guests and write names down. That's awesome. So
do your research.
I'm going to do my research here in the next little bit. But again, I want to thank you for coming on, and I'm getting ready to sign off. So I'm going to keep you on the Skype here and just say disconnect.